What are the two most important resources you can get in Valheim? I'm going to show you today in an Xbox Series X Valheim guide. So the first is the drop from the boss Ekfar, basically the deer god. You'll obviously find a location for it as soon as you spawn in the game, as it will be at the standing stones. You then build yourself up enough that you've got enough gear and weapons. I recommend leather, a bow and lots of fire arrows, but it's relatively easy compared to the rest of the bosses you're going to face. Summon it by placing a deer head on the altar table. It'll do lots of lightning damage, and if you get directly caught in it, it can do a fair amount. Otherwise, keep strafing around it, keep your distance and peppering it with arrows. Once it's dead, you'll be able to pick up its antler, and this is what you're going to make the pickaxe with. Without this, you won't have access to any bronze or iron tools, nor any of the crafting benches that require some of them resources. Its pretty much only use is for making the pickaxe, so you can't use it to craft anything else. And if you play multiplayer, everyone should get enough to make at least one pickaxe. This is how you go and mine the copper that you'll find in the Black Forest, and tin that you also find alongside rivers and the ocean of the Black Forest. It can be also used to mine iron eventually when you get to the swamp biome, and you can use it obviously to level off or get more deeper ground and make yourself defensive battlements around your base, or maybe even make a trap for your boars or other creatures to tame, or even a boar farm. And of course you can get a ton of stone because you'll now be able to mine the big rocks that you come across. So with all that metal you've now got, how do you smelt it down? Well, you're going to need cores. They're also helping you with your portals to get across the map. So you're going to need to come across the burial chambers in the Black Forest. These are where you're going to find the cores. They're usually 2 or 3 corridors that will lead off to separate rooms filled with skeleton creatures that you'll have to kill. Always best using a club to take them down. You may also encounter ghosts. These aren't as common as the skeletons, but they are deadly. They're pretty OP in the early days, especially when you might only be wearing leather armor instead of pretty decked out gear like I'm showing here. Your best bet is to take out any of the skeletons around it and then maybe kite it, or definitely use your shield to block attacks, or try and kill it with range. The cores you'll be able to now pick up, hopefully, if you found some, and with enough of them you can go ahead and start crafting some of the stations you'll need to progress. The jackpot is finding 3 or 4 of them in the same room like this. Let's go ahead and craft your smelter. Remember, you can destroy your crafting benches and get all the resources back. So if you want to get the charcoal kiln first, get lots of charcoal made, you can then use the same cores once you've broken it down to go ahead and make the smelter if you didn't find a lot of cores. The burial chambers, obviously you'll find more in bigger, larger Black Forests, but not always. So it can be a bit of a hard resource to get hold of in the early days. You also use cores to make blast furnaces that will smelt much higher metals later on in the game. And you also use it to make an oven, which you can craft and make much better meals later in the game. The other 2 major uses are in making the ward stones to stop players from trolling you. You can place these in your base and it will basically lock doors and chests and stop players unless you give them access at the ward stone. Go and check out the guide I've already done for that. And of course, more importantly, the portals. Did you know there's a cheat? If you type in no portal in the dev commands, you can actually say or make it that you can't use portals. Some people really enjoy playing Valheim like that, having to travel absolutely everywhere by boat. I am not a madman though. These portals will allow you to transfer your goods from one place to another to quickly get to them. They don't take metals though, so you still have to make some of them long boat trips. The idea in Valheim is being though that you set up lots of outposts in each different biome as you explore. One portal will link to another. Your first 2 will automatically link, so you don't have to really do anything. But as soon as you add a 3rd one, you need to make sure they're both named the same. So it's always a good idea to set one up with a random name, and then make sure you take materials with you when you go out on an adventure in your ship to go and explore. As soon as you've made land somewhere that you think you're going to set up, or you found some resources, you can put the new portal down and you can name it to whatever you named the first one. So always make sure you've got enough materials to make a portal whenever you go and exploring by ship somewhere distant. And there you go, that's the 2 most important resources in Valheim. Yes, you can complete the game without portals, but it's extremely hard at doing so, and yes, you might even be able to complete the game without using any kind of metals, but again, only absolute madmen would do that. So with the pickaxe and knowing how to get the cores, you'll now have the most important pieces of Valheim sussed out. Hope that's helped. Go and check out the rest of my guides, and I'll see you right back for more soon. Bye bye.